You ready to go, Agent?
Oh.
Yep, I'm ready. I'm not recording. I'm here as a guest.
Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody.
I'm a guest and I record anyway.
Jesus Christ, Wonder.
Fucking damn it!
Oh, man.
Welcome to Sadcast. Fuck all of y'all. I'm out. Peace. That was good. That was good, guys. This stuff.
Okay, see ya.
All right, see ya.
Fuck.
That was easy.
You don't even
So
care
what-
about what we're talking about today.
Fuck it, I quit the internet.
Yep, that's it. Pull the lines. Pull all the lines. All right. So what have you been playing lately?
Everyone's been playing Bound by Flame except for you.
I don't have any
Pretty
interest.
much.
You've been playing weird old ass 2011 games with creepy man horses.
Yeah.
What?
And I'm having a great time. We'll discuss it later. Just go. Just
You and your man horses.
just go ahead and
Jeez.
talk about interesting stuff for right now. So what is this game about?
I don't even like that sound.
So,
Bound by Flame is basically the story of Dragon Age and/or Game of Thrones, where like the world's getting taken over by this one army of evil, not human stuff, and they're attacking us. In this case, they're an undead army that's killing people and turning them into undead also. And you accidentally get, during a ritual that you sort of interfere with, you get possessed by a demon of fire from like the all earth soul or whatever, like this, or the soul of the earth or something like that. And now it's like fighting to take over your body while you try to save the world.
Like literally fire?
Yeah.
Like,
So
you
fire
became
demon.
like
You become a
so you're
pyromancer as a result.
you're Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
So
Or
you just walk around.
You're also basically
So
a
you're-
Grey Warden.
So you're a medieval Johnny Storm. You just walk around and you're like,
Like,
flame
you're-
on!
You're part of an order of soldiers that are the only people remaining in this resistance against this horrible army. But you have to take on this. You have to take on the spirit of this other being that might kill you in the process in order to save the world, and other stuff that's also from Dragon Age.
Well, wait. If you have this being, why do you even have to save the world?
he actually tells you to. The evil demon that's possessing you is actually telling you to save the world, where everybody else is like, we're just going to do small shit and run around.
That was actually one detail I found interesting, is that you get possessed by this total asshole demon character, but he's not evil necessarily. Like, he's actually trying to, at least he's trying to save the world in some version, at least. He may or may not care about humanity itself, but he's against the idea of the ice zombies that are invading.
How
No
far into
shit,
the
he's
game
made of
are
fire.
you guys?
How far into
I'm
the
at
game
the
am
first
I?
town.
I'm in chapter 2. How
Yeah, so
far
he's
are you,
farther than
Agent?
us.
I got to this town where some knights are or something. Crap like that. I don't
Oh,
know.
you-
The
have
story
you
is
read the
not
Talks
worth
With Person?
paying attention to.
What? Wait, everybody say that again, but at the same time?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Have you left the
The
jungle already?
story is not what.
God damn it! That was a joke. Professionalism. Fuck it.
Are you in the first town or not? That's the thing.
I don't know what the first town is.
Are you in the jungle still?
Huh?
Are you in the
Where?
jungle village?
Okay, so we've
Could be a
established
jungle
Core,
village.
Core
I was
actually
in the
hasn't been
jungle.
playing the game.
I was in the jungle on some spore shit. And then I found this dude, knight.
Yeah, talks in
help,
third person.
And I helped him out. And that's pretty
where you
much where
stopped.
that's
yeah,
where
I
I
think we're all
stopped.
mostly in the same spot then, actually.
Okay, so,
I'm
Okay,
third
well,
year, 'cause
the
I'm
reason
like
why
2
I
missions
ask-
in.
The only reason why I ask is because you've only heard that demon speak once. I don't know about
Okay.
you guys, but holy shit, the dialogue is like
Bad.
2-year-old
Terrible?
fucking wrote it. No, it's like a 2-year-old wrote it. So I feel
Yeah.
bad for these voice actors who are like, and then I was inside of you.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
This
basically.
sounds
No, like that's kind of like what the demon says, and it's weird. Like their words, they make sense, but they're not like a story. They're not. They don't.
So it has,
cohesively
like-
come together in a beautiful little flower.
So basically, you're saying George Lucas wrote this.
Yes. George Lucas totally wrote this. for sure.
There's
A
demons
Sith
with fire.
master?
Just buy it.
We must move quickly if we are to defend the council.
I had the girl come with me.
Yeah?
Did you guys have the elf?
How did
or the
that
girl
work?
come with you?
I brought the girl. I didn't know it was actually a choice. I thought you could bring both, and I was like,
Yeah,
It was
like,
yeah.
already.
I know. I was like, sweet. I'll bring the girl. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come with.
Yeah, they
I was
give
like,
you,
I'm
they,
gonna
they
go.
let
I'm
you
gonna
choose
try and
from.
romance her when the moment I can.
They totally
And,
let you
when
choose
go
from
and
two different
talk to
companions,
her-
but give you no idea that you're actually choosing one. Basically.
Yeah, I was about to say, I
Yeah.
like how they tricked you into choosing a companion. Everyone goes for female. Everyone's like,
Well,
going
to
for
be
the bitch
fair-
first.
The elf had like zero personality or redeeming traits apart from swearing at you. And
I totally
insulting your
chose the elf.
heritage.
I chose the
Well,
elf because
I guess
the
we
woman
know what
seemed
you're looking
completely
for.
useless.
Well, okay, I mean, in fairness, Keith, you do a channel with me, so I mean, that's
He was
that's
basically
pretty normal.
Legolas, where the girl was like, "I want to look at the plants." I'm like, "Shit's gonna kill us in here. What the fuck? I'm not gonna walk around
Yeah.
with you. What do you do?"
What do you got
I
against
bet it would
botanists?
have been easier with the elf.
Probably was.
Well, the wizard lady actually heals you. I don't know if the elf does.
Fucking heals you for shit.
No, shoot.
Yeah,
All the
okay.
elf does is shoot people. But
Did you
interesting
actually?
thing though about that goddamn elf is that by default, like eventually they tell you, by the way, you can open up a menu and give your companion orders. And then I realized that one of the orders is that you can get him to attack from a distance. By default, he doesn't use ranged attacks, even though he's only really has a bow. So he just runs up to people and gets hit a lot. But that's okay because you can circumvent the difficulty of the game by just kind of running away from combat. Because then all of the guys leash like you're playing an MMO, but none of them heal or come back to life. But your companion just gets up because you walked away.
Okay.
And then you exit
I
combat,
found-
and it even autosaves.
So I found that with the wizard lady that she will actually cast spells as normal if she's unaggressive, but if you put her on defensive, she just stands there and puts up her dukes. She doesn't do anything at that point. She just stands there
Gonna
blocking.
punch some fools out.
And
I
if you
told
put
her
her
to-
on,
go
did you
ahead.
put her on healing or
Yeah, I
what'd you
told
put
her
her
to
on?
fucking heal me. She'd never heal me. I'd always
Well-
die.
I had the exact opposite problem where she would heal me too much. She'd just sit there healing constantly. So,
Wait, so
at one
what
point she had
difficulty are
like
you guys
6
playing
enemies
on?
surrounding her. I
Pussy?
actually I started on Hawk and I switched it down to Recruit because I was getting bored.
I went straight for Buffalo and I'm still on it. Shit kills me in 3 hits.
Yeah,
Just
that's why I
anything.
switched down. I was like, this is boring.
Like anything can just instantly kill me. It's ridiculous. And there's no real
must
way of
suck
healing
as a
in the
player.
game besides potions, which you have to buy constantly.
Okay, so is this I'm from like a bystander's perspective? I'm listening to you guys talk about this. I have no fucking idea what's going on. And so is this an RPG? Are you sitting there building stats up?
It's a
or are
Western
you
style
just...
RPG that very much wants to be almost a carbon copy of Dragon Age 2.
Okay.
Where it has
Okay.
the real time sort of hack and slash combat with like a handful of abilities.
Okay. I kind of see. Oh, all right. Oh.
It even kind of takes a
Yeah.
page out of Fable's book by having spellcasting, ranger, and fighter as your 3 trees, basically.
Honestly,
And
it feels like a bad Amalur.
Oh yeah,
Which is
yeah,
saying
probably
something.
like Amalur. Although it has it has nowhere near as much like actual customization as Amalur did, because Amalur you could go up a bunch of different trees and then even combine them and get weird like mixed builds and stuff like that. And in this game, you have like 4 abilities total per each of your 3 classes, and there's only like 4 layers deep in the tree, and then you're just done with it. Like it's the most incredibly tiny talent tree I've seen in virtually any RPG.
And I
Well, I
thought
think
Amalur was limited,
I would
actually.
assume that there's going to be more classes or whatever coming out instead of just the ranger and warrior.
I'd like to assume that, but
I
the
don't think they're
reviews
adding
I'm reading
much.
right now say that basically it sounds like the reviews basically confirm what I'm currently thinking, which is that basically everything about the game is thrown at you right at the beginning, and then you just play through the story while having already experienced the breadth of the content, sort of. Because like right now you have your 3 trees, and you can go right to the end of one of the trees like immediately if you want to. Like I've gotten all pyromancy, and I am like a couple points away from being able to just buy the last skill, and I'm only in chapter 2 of the game. which is still in that first village that you guys just got to. And then like I saw an image that shows all of your companions you can get in the game, and guess what? You've already met them all in that first town. They're either part of that group or you meet them when you first get to that town. The only exception being this like necromancer type guy that's exclusive to people buying the game at GameStop.
That includes the witch?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, even the witch. Like
you
all those
only get the undead dude if you got it from GameStop?
Yes, the undead is exclusive to GameStop. One of the party members.
That's disappointing. I was kind of hoping he'd be a romance option.
It's kind of fucked up. But on the topic, we were talking about the bad dialogue, and I wanted to bring that up because it seemed to me like the game was written by several writers that never talk to each other. Because
part of it is it's also French, so I don't know if they're like if their writing was specifically originally French, or like if English is their second language. Because it felt like they were doing kind of the Samuel L. Jackson style of thing, where if they can't think of a better word, they just use motherfucker, except for instead they got a little bit creative with their swears.
But like,
I gotta give them props. They've got vocabulary there.
What I find out is that a lot of the cast acts like Game of Thrones characters, basically, where like it's like old-timey fantasy in-character sort of dialogue, but then so every now and then the main character just goes full Nathan Drake and talks in completely modern ways. Like, I'm as serious as a heart attack and stuff like that. I'm like, do you know what a heart attack is? Because you're like weird fantasy people. And like saying weirdly modern stuff and weirdly modern slang and insults and cursing and everything. And then like they can't seem to decide most of the game like whether he's supposed to be this like total smartass prick or if he's going to be completely innocent and polite when he's talking. Because in every other conversation he just switches between those two, and there's no particular pattern as to which one he does. The whole game's this weirdly cobbled together like we're trying really hard to look like other games you like, and there's no other games like this right now on the next gen console, so please buy me. And then you buy it and you're like, this was kind of a Trojan's horse, wasn't it?
Well, speaking of the embargo, we might as well talk about that.
Yeah, there's the drama part.
Well, I wasn't even talking about the drama.
The part where the game's unlocked. Let's see, they embargoed the reviews for the 9th, but the game came out on PSN on the 6th and came out on Xbox and Steam on the 8th. So it was available for purchase for everyone except for people who insist on buying physical copies either 1 day or 3 days before the reviews were allowed to come out, which is basically right now as we're recording the podcast.
Wow. Oh, wait. So this game, technically, you cannot go down to the local Best Buy and buy this game. Nope, it says release date is tomorrow.
Yeah, wow, the physical release date is tomorrow, but it's available on every single platform digitally earlier in the week. So basically, any number of people... No, it's not. It looks like an incredibly underhanded way of circumventing the whole review embargo process by getting the game out to people as fast as possible before reviews can roll in. And it seems like they're happening for a reason, because right now we're looking at a Metacritic of 52. And it's coming from a developer that has a history of developing games that exclusively get scores in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah. This is the company that made Mars Warlogs of Orcs and Men. Not a whole lot of winners there.
The Sherlock Holmes games and something called Prairie Legends of Avalon. Never heard of that.
Hey.
Holy shit, that game just looks...
Fairy Legends of Avalon looks like freeware. It looks like a Flash game you play on like Congregate. I have it because I picked it up for like...
Wow.
It was like $2 on sale at one point. I'm like, fuck it, an RPG, why not? And then I look at them I'm like, this is a PS1 game running on current gen, right? Like, I remember just looking in a direction and just seeing nothing but fog at one point. I'm like, it's not rendering anything. I didn't even make it out of the first area in that game because I was like, I can't do this. I just don't want to at all.
It doesn't look that bad.
It's pretty bad.
Okay, so the way they handle
that's pretty
hair
bad.
makes me barf. They have like an older gentleman, and instead of actually having like proper hair modeling, he just has weird tufts of hair sticking out of.
We're talking about
like,
the steward.
Close. Yeah, he's got like close cropped hair, but he has like tufts of hair coming out to make it seem like his hair is a little bit messier than it actually is. It's so bad.
Most of his hair is
was
completely flat to his head as a texture, but then he has weird tufts of 3D hair, but that's only in really small parts of his body, and it's a different color and rendered differently and lit differently, so it's so clearly not part of the rest of the head, and it looks horrible. And this is a game on PS4 and like current, like it's a current PC game and everything like that, so it's like it's kind of insulting how bad it looks a lot of the time.
Okay, so to be fair, they are an indie developer. They're not actually AAA, though they try and be.
Well, it's also not a $20 game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that was
true.
the thing I had a problem with, is that, like the graphics didn't really bother me that much. There were problems, certain things look funny. The lip sync is totally off.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's like, whatever. Who the fuck cares? You're playing a video game. You're there to like lose time, have fun. Not everything needs to be 100% perfect, But yeah, it's like a $40 though,
or 50, like in some people's cases in this chat room.
Oh, you really dropped $50 on it?
Yep, I got it on PS4.
Ooh,
I wanted to get the next gen experience because my PS4 don't have no retail games except for Metal Gear Solid and Infamous.
And so, yeah, it's not worth that. That's like a bad price for the game.
No, it's not. It's definitely not worth this much money, unfortunately.
Because I paid $30 for it.
This game looks awful.
It's
This game looks
it's kind of
awful.
I want to point out too, one of my biggest gripes with this game is that it heavily relies on this Dark Souls style lock-on combat, where your character just doesn't actually lock on to the onto the monster you're locking onto. So like you'll swing at them and you'll swing at weird angles sometimes because it just doesn't bother locking onto the character. Or in my case, as a pyromancer who relies very heavily on using these spells that use up like a third of my mana bar, and I really want to wipe people out with them, I'll fire at people and it'll just miss, or just do no damage for some reason, and there's no particular reason given.
You know the first boss and how you're supposed to like shoot his limbs and take him out, and
the
fireballs
first boss
actually do a substantial amount of damage to him?
Exactly.
Yeah,
you can't target its body, so every single thing you can target is flailing around like crazy and impossible to hit.
So I missed with the first fireball, and it's like, oh, it's going to be like that. Okay, fine. I'll just be very patient and wait until he's obviously not moving. And then my fireballs would like whiz at him and then angle to the left and hit a skeleton instead. I'm not even kidding you. I'd be locked onto his arm, and they would just like take out the Peasley little skeletons that are just there to block your fireballs.
I've fired out like a shotgun blast of fireballs before and have them just explode 2 feet away from the enemy I was fighting. That's like, they've always gone further than that, but this time they just decide to stop existing right before the enemy, and I don't know why.
I actually haven't had a problem with the combat.
Awful.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the oddball out.
I guess part of it
actually.
You also played like a third or half as much as we have, I think.
True.
Just wait for it to wear on you. Wait till you start fighting all these shitty flying enemies and hovering assholes that are easy to miss because they're a beach ball that's in the air.
I think he was actually fighting those.
Yeah, I was.
I guess Core just has a lot more patience than we do.
Whoever did the art for this game it's like really good at drawing. Whoever did the 3D doesn't really know what 3D is. There's such a stunningly big difference between looking at like the concept designs for some of the monsters and then looking at the 3D models of them, and it's like I don't know exactly who interpreted this art, but they did it wrong.
Dear Lord. All right, so Core, what do you have for us?
Oh, about the YouTube drama?
Oh.
Yeah, let's just dive into
YouTube.
this.
Okay, we should probably preface it with the thread this morning.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a thread this morning that was posted by, is it Jimmy Plays?
Jimmy Barinho.
Yeah, but isn't his channel Jimmy Plays?
Nope.
Was it the guy complaining about someone
people.
else who broke the embargo?
Yeah, he wrote about the embargo, but he was just angry by people that he had seen that posted before the embargo was lifted. And he had done a little bit of research, and he found this one guy who had 71k subscribers, and he was like the first one to post it, and even Machinima retweeted his posting of the game. And he was just talking about how frustrating that was. And then on top of that, he looked at his description, and he was abusing it. He had a bunch of description tags posted underneath his description, which he also said, frustrated him more. It was just a rant. And a bunch of people, Wander commented in here, and a bunch of people agreed that it was kind of a messed up situation. I commented in it. Here's the thing that I said. This is what I would like to mention, because I have no idea why I'm getting the attack that I am getting for what I had said. So I commented, I said, yeah, I saw this retweet last night by Machinima. Rubbed me the wrong way too. I just figure that's how it goes at our level, and there's nothing that we can really do about it, and we can expect to be pissed. So, and then I said something about how he got the game early, which that doesn't matter. That's all I said. And after I wrote that, I was like, I remember back when you had actually made the posting about someone who stole your video. Or uses their own content.
Yeah.
And so, and that YouTuber, he was tweeted, and he got told where your Reddit post was. And so I was like, you know what? Let's get this guy involved. Let's see what his side of the story is. Maybe he didn't. Or maybe he got special permission to post beyond the embargo or whatever. You know what I mean? So I sent him a link to the Reddit, and the fun began. I was picking up my car, and I got a tweet from somebody called iPod Mail. So,
sounds legit.
Yeah. Well, he has 300,000 subscribers, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. He's
that was somewhat unexpected.
He's a guy. He's all, your Titanfall video was super cringe. I might even post it on r/cringe since you like Reddit so much, brah. I was like, what the fuck? Why the fuck? Okay. This is so random. I thought it was so random that somebody sent me this. So, I click on his Twitter account, and that's when I find out he's a YouTuber, and I'm like, what the fuck? He has 300 subscribers. I click on his about page. Bam! There it is. Fucking asshat himself, Arsenal Robert, the guy who everyone was talking about in the Reddit. He's a friend of him. Like, oh, okay, so it makes sense. He's pissed, and he's getting his little posse on me for some reason. I don't know why. All I did was send him the fucking Reddit link. I didn't even say anything else in the tweet. And then, like, seriously, shortly after I'm reading that, I get a YouTube comment email, and what was it? What did it say exactly? We should read it word for word because it's funny.
Oh, Jesus. So I'm noticing that this Arsenal Robert just sort of exploded all over the thread now.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
He's like, try not choking on your cum, faggot. That's what he wrote on my Bound by Flame video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, faggot.
Yeah. And so I screenshot that. And I sent I was like, I debated this for a moment. I'm like, can I stir the pot? Because this seems like it's going to be one of those situations anyway. So I tweeted it to him. I said, hey, I screenshotted what you sent to me. It doesn't matter that you deleted it. I still have the proof, And then I tweeted it. That doesn't matter. I tweeted it. I sent a tweet to Machinima and M Insider. And M Insider is for people who are partnered with Machinima. It's like their direct contact. And I said,
oh, God.
Yeah, I said, hey, one of your partners just, commented on my video like this. Here's the Twitter pic. I sent that. And so he's been going back and forth with me. Pretty awesome.
Recent events have just been like a chronicle of like what large YouTubers are douchebags. Let's find out.
Yeah. Well,
it's gonna happen though.
Here's the classy thing. He's all, how cool. His reply to my tweet with the picture of his comment on my video, he's all, how cool, you learnt how to inspect element and slander people. I can do the same. And then he has a link for a Twitter pic, and it has below as if like I responded to it, but my thumbnail is all like grainy and looks really shitty. And it's all, it says that I said, I like swallowing big sweaty cock.
So this is, on top of just being like a model citizen, he's also just this incredible example of maturity and humor. Clearly,
Yeah. Oh, he's full of it.
I can tell. He's brimming of masculinity. All he seems to talk about, he just loves talking about like swallowing cum and choking on cocks. It's like, wow, just you keep at it, man. You're setting an example for all of us. We need
nothing
to follow.
says you're the height of humanity like just defaulting to homoeroticism every time you try to insult somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's.
He may have
that's
deleted all of his tweets to me.
He just all of them. He just wiped out his Twitter. He's like, fuck
No,
it.
he
You know
did.
what? Doesn't
Everything
this guy?
I just had up, I clicked on links. Shit, I should have kept it. Oh well.
Christ, you found someone worse than the guy I dealt with.
Yeah.
That guy
Well,
was that guy was just defensive. This guy is like
So
scum.
yeah, he's actually on the thread.
Well,
Yeah. Oh, he's all over the thread.
He's all
That's
over.
hilarious.
I did Control F for his name and found 14 results.
Yeah, I just actually clicked on his name and it shows all of his fucking posts.
Like he's like, so
Yeah.
basically
look.
you're jelly? Nothing like a false flag.
And then he does some really creepy.
He
like,
said
"Hello,
jelly,
Vince."
unironically.
I
Believe it or
don't
not,
even know.
some people, example bigger YouTubers than you, receive permission from the publishers to play games on their channel before release or the actual embargo drops. There's a radical thought. I can't believe such a small channel gets a review copy though. 'Tis lulzy.
Well,
That's
so
just also
let's
his
talk about
terrible
that for a
grammar, by the
second.
way. He doesn't know how like there works and stuff like that.
Wow, this guy has
Sad.
71,000 subscribers.
he has a point there. Like, certain people get more privileges, and that's
This is
fine.
just-
He
Makes me so
why
sad.
did he have to go and say it the way he did?
Because he just has to deliberately insult people, basically.
He does, and he's an asshole. And people like that, how does he have 71,000 subscribers?
When I
An
see someone
asshole.
like that, I basically want to
'cause-
just... It's like Tranicus. Like, when we had that whole situation with the stolen footage, the coolest part was seeing people be like, wow, like, people that watched his channel go to the thread and noticing, like, this guy's an asshole. I liked this guy, but he's an asshole now, and now I know. And, like, I don't want to watch him
So-
anymore. Like, and now this
thing-
Arsenal Robert guy, I want to go to his fucking videos and just look at everyone who leaves comments and just leave them personal messages to this thread so they can see that he's just an asshole.
So the thing is, I'm actually looking at his comments. He actually used to post on /r/Let's Play a year ago, giving people advice. And mostly he's just telling people to only do games that are just coming out so you can get a lot of search results that way.
Which is exactly
That's
what
why
he's
he has-
doing.
That's why he has 70,000, because the only thing he does is plays absolutely new games as soon as they come out, just to get more views.
Well, not exclusively. He does. I do see Command and Conquer Red Alert 2
okay, fine, but that
and
was
Cabela's
his
Big
marketing
Game
strategy.
Hunter. But yeah, he did.
Yeah, but
he
he-
did like
but-
he went straight for Thief. He went straight for
Yeah.
Bound by Flame and so on.
And he
Yeah.
has enough people that he can pull off like really shitty old games and people still watch them. It's like a Game Grumps thing.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you can pull off older games is like give a good
Or to-
audience.
Or
Yeah.
be the only person who ever played it.
That's
Pretty
true.
much.
That's true.
Because every game
there's a
ever is
few
being
things,
looked up
right?
on YouTube.
Like the best situation that you can have is having an audience that you can actually deliver those older games to, since they're not being searched for, because then they'll actually be watched. And that's your
Right.
best situation. Sure. But dude, yeah, this guy, he's something else. His
Yeah,
last
kind
tweet
of
to
scum.
me was, "Aren't the brightest cookie in the world, are you? Also, let me tell you, I lift a little more than you." And he said that He said that because I hashtagged the first Twitter tweet that I sent to him is, "Do you even lift?"
He can't be real, can he? This can't be a real person.
It's a real person. It's great. It's awesome.
You're making me sad about life and existence and people.
Well,
I don't like it. Stop.
You know, it would be hilarious.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It would be hilarious if we all managed to surpass people like him someday, somehow, and we just go around calling people like that stupid. Like, I would make that a nightly activity.
Like, what if this podcast
is a
YouTuber is a chronicle? What if this chronicles us changing?
I was thinking just the same thing, Wonder. Like, or even better, like you get to a point where you're like, man, I'm doing so well. Let's say you have like 100,000 plus subscribers, or like, man, it's been a while since I've heard from Arsenal Robert. Let's go check out, see how well he's doing, and he's not doing so well. Shoot him a nice little tweet. Man, it sucks to be left behind now.
No, not even that. Just like, bigger YouTubers get privileges. Something like that.
Oh.
I can't believe such a small channel gets press copies.
Yeah. Lols.
Except for that would be childish. I think it would be better to just like call him out on shit like that.
I am not
and then just watch him fail.
It's like, fun to talk about, but I do agree with you. It would be severely childish to actually do it. It is a fun and hilarious concept to think about and talk about, because you can just go off the wall with what you would send it to him as a Twitter, and it's funny.
Dear Lord.
I think it would have actually been really funny if somebody like Omwrecker or Northern Lion had been like, this shit isn't cool. I don't know.
That is
or whatever.
The missing element of
dude,
this guy.
It wouldn't fucking matter with this kid. He'd probably tell him to go suck a dick or something. I don't know.
It would just be really funny
if
he didn't even like pay attention to who like he was responding to. So he just like insults Cryotic or something.
That I was just thinking Cry because Cry's
just mocking
Reddit
small
handle
channels
isn't
that are
like
100 times his size.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
Dad, I don't know. I would probably be someone who would do that. I wouldn't have any problem like just insulting a big YouTube channel. Just be like, yeah, you know what, you're a fucking cock.
That's because you spend most of your time wishing death upon larger YouTube channels.
Well, I wish death upon a lot of things, not just large YouTube channels. So, like, my hate does not just only encompass people with large YouTube channels, just like all living creatures. So I guess it wouldn't really matter. But I don't know.
Hey, Andrew, Brofist.
What?
Brofist? Oh, dear Lord.
God.
That backfired. I'm sorry.
Please don't do that again. I can still taste the vomit in the back of my throat from that.
Fucking hate.
Quick side note, back to Bound by Flame for a second. So I'm while I do this.
What?
Just bringing us back on the farm. So of course, while I'm doing these things, I'm trying to do a painting, whatever. I figured while we're talking about Bound by Flame, I would make a Bound by Flame thumbnail because I don't have one yet.
Oh God, what are you
I've sat
painting?
here just redrawing the same face over and over again. And at this point, I've got some like weird bearded minor 49er looking type character. Instead of like anybody halfway respectable, I'm gonna like stick fire coming out of his hands and just make him look absolutely nonsensical and wrong.
I was halfway tempted to just post Commander Shepard as my thumbnail for Bound by Flame because that's exactly what my character looks like. He looks like the exact, like the default male Shepherd in every exact way. Like the buzz cut, and the exact shape of his forehead, and like the eyebrows, and like his whole face, down to the facial hair, looks exactly the goddamn same as Commander Shepard. And they can't be hiding it because the freaking game, the blurb is like, it's like Mass Effect, but in medieval fantasy world. And I'm like, so you mean Dragon Age? But it's like, well, like they say Mass Effect in the blurbs, like they know it exists, and like this Shepard default character is not an accident.
So my character looks a lot like Joel from Last of Us. Same beard, same hairstyle.
Oh Lord!
I wanted to name him Joel and just run around looking for young girls to protect.
Is this where we find out that all
Wow. I'm glad you put protect at the end of that.
Is this where we find out that all the hair and face defaults are just carbon copies of various popular games?
No, that would be
By the way-
lazy.
By the way, I want to point out there's only like 5 hairstyles and faces. And,
Yeah,
those are your only 2 customization
Okay.
options. There's not even
Yeah,
color.
and like half of the faces are for different ethnicities, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
help either.
So if you're
'Cause
white,
it's like-
you get like 3 choices. If you're black, you
Yeah.
get like 1 choice, and that's about it.
Generic white person A and B, black dude, Asian dude, I don't know, mystery meat with like lots of scars. Not entirely sure what ethnicity it was supposed to be.
Albino.
There's only 5
Yeah.
hairstyles. There's like buzz cut, old man hairstyle, crazy ass dreads, emo haircut, and then like you immediately encounter characters with those exact haircuts, but just slightly different
Yep.
colors. Like the first Archer has the emo haircut. I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't pick that, or this would have been awkward.
So, quick question: did any of you guys bother to make a female character?
No.
Okay, so since I do co-commentary with Shell, we're like, hey, let's make a female character. Everybody else is going to have a male character, probably the same beard and hairstyle that we eventually ended up with. Well, we make the female character. Listen to the initial like voice acting. You know that scene where the character is fighting the undead and ranting about shit?
Wait, did
And,
you
like,
guys
kinda
pick a
whiffing
female for
it.
like 2 seconds and then just abort? Is that what happened
Yes,
here?
that is exactly what we did. Because the female voice actor doesn't have inflection. It was like if I had
I'm
a lady
going
voice,
to
it would
get
be
you.
exactly that. Yep.
It was
was
like,
very-
some scout, I could smell you from a mile away. I think that's
Like,
the initial dialogue in
It
the
wasn't
game.
that robotic, but it was pretty close. It was really bad.
So
Like,
you're telling me it
at least
wasn't
the male
Jennifer
guy.
Hale?
I
That's
don't think it
awful.
was. It was really bad.
It can't be
That's-
Jennifer Hale. That would have been good. Unless she
Not-
did like a joke
not if
take,
they
like,
didn't
this
pay
is
her
what bad
enough.
voice acting is like. And like, oh, okay, we'll use that. Like, no, what are you doing?
Like, I think they were trying to go for that lady from Wreck-It Ralph, the like really militant butch lady whose name escapes me. Calhoun.
Lord.
That's also on Glee. Like, they were trying to go for that like militant tough lady voice, and instead they just got like gravelly Wonder Bread. It was very, very painful to listen to.
Gravelly
So eventually
Wonder-
we're just like, well, instant gender reassignment, go. Did a jump cut and suddenly picked up where we left off as a male character.
Dear
Wow.
Lord.
No regrets.
Yeah, I've just been playing Skyrim.
Yep, with your creepy man horse
Yep.
and your lightsaber.
What?
He got a mod
Okay,
where he can summon a horse that is just a character model or of a man, but animated as a horse. So it's like walking around
Oh,
backwards
so like Red
and
Dead
shit.
Oh.
It's more of like someone took the human texture and put it over the horse mesh frame, and so now it's just like this really hideous looking, just awful thing. And yeah, so it walks on 2 hands. So it has like its 2 front like hooves are just hands, and its back are just regular feet. So it looks like
looks like a
someone just bent
necromorph.
over. It does look
Oh,
awful.
God.
But, yeah, his name's Tommy. He's a valiant steed who actually speaks English.
Oh god.
Sorta. He speaks broken English, but he knows people that I don't know in the game. He's always talking about he always every time I spawn him, he always goes like, "Hi Mark." I'm like, who's Mark? I don't know who Mark is.
Wait, so he just
And,
starts talking to NPCs that aren't there?
He just starts talking in general. Anytime there's an enemy, he's like, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa." And I'm like,
Wait, he
"Okay,
says that?
well,
He says that exact
Yeah.
line. So
Yeah.
it's Tommy Wiseau from The Room.
yeah.
That's who he is. That's exactly
I
who he
guess
is.
so.
He's talking-
Funny.
He's saying lines from the movie. Yeah,
I
it's supposed
guess
to be,
so.
it's known as being one of the worst movies of all time. With just and the lead actor is Tommy Wiseau, who's also like I want to say writer and director. So it's like he's the reason
Yes.
he's the fault of everything going wrong in it, basically. And
Well, he's
known
certainly
for like
the worst horse.
every single scene. He's just like, "Oh, hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark." Just every single goddamn scene. And when he finally like, gives
Oh,
up to kill
yeah.
himself, he's like, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa." And I'm like, that's how you sound right before you like kill yourself. like it's just
They're-
horrible acting. So it's hilarious. And so they just flat out
They're-
threw Tommy
yeah.
Wiseau into your game as a horse.
Oh yeah, and so now I have Tommy Wiseau as a horse. He is the most ADD fucking influenced horse I've ever met. I'll get off of him and he'll just start wandering away. He just sees butterflies or something and decides that it's more important. I have been in instances where it's like, "Oh, I'm fighting a dragon. Hey, it's getting a little hairy, Tommy. We should get." Oh, Tommy's halfway to town. Okay,
Whoops.
well, hi, Dragon. Like, and there was one time where I kind of left him alone, and I was busy scouting for something, and he just ran up and started hitting somebody, and I was like, Tommy, you just can't assault people in the street. You can't do that. And again, his line is just like, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa," and ran up and smacked somebody, and the guy's like, "What the fuck? I don't even know this horse." It was like, all right, and it's awful, but
Sounds like step one to an interesting Skyrim series.
Yep.
And so far, every time I get off and I start again, I start adding more mods, and I'm at the point now where I'm carrying around a lightsaber. I'm riding around Tommy. I have a bear that will play a lute if you summon him. So you summon a bear and he just plays music. And so I now whenever I get into epic fights, mostly with dragons, I'll summon this bear, and I change the audio file so that he starts playing through fire and flames. And so now you just see this bear show up with a lute, and in 3 seconds it's just like and there's just dragons in the air, and it's mixed with the Dovahkiin song, and you're just like, wow, this is
Music playing intense. Over music.
Yeah, it's kind of disorienting the first time you see it, and it actually scares most of the enemies that are nearby. Like, they don't know what to do with it. And
this is your Skyrim on drugs.
Yeah, and actually it's funny because the mod for the bear is supposed to be an illusion, so no one else is supposed to be able to see it. It's just supposed to be like, oh no, it's invisible. It's just an illusion that no one can see. Mine broke, so people can see the bear. Uh-oh. And it actively scares them.
It's like a fear spell.
Sorta.
Working as intended.
I spawned it in the middle of this epic fight I was doing with some like tribal people, and they were all fighting me, and I was like, ow, I'm getting beat up. So I spawned the bear to make it more pumped up, and they stopped and they looked at this bear and they're like, what the fuck is that thing? And they just stop. They just stop and keep staring at it like they're nervous about what this bear's gonna do. And then it just starts playing through fire and flames, and they start attacking it like it's a bad thing. And and so I'm just sitting there like hitting them in the back, killing them, and I'm like, you stop hitting my bear. And the bear's just he doesn't even know what's happening. He's just like, I'm just playing a fucking song. But
his final song.
Yeah, it's awful.
Your bear story actually, it reminds me of the first mod I ever heard about for Skyrim, which was the arachnophobia mod. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but there's people who freak out if they ever see spiders in a video game, and it gets pretty bad when they play games like Oblivion and Skyrim where there's giant spiders that attack you. So
pretty much.
One of the first mods I saw replaced all of the spiders with bears.
That's right, I remember that.
But because they weren't animated properly, they were just T-posed bears. Like, they were just standing straight up with their arms out, and they would just hover at you.
My arachnophobia is pretty substantial.
Seriously?
I do not like spiders.
They make me uncomfortable when they're real in video games. I'm like, I'm gonna smack that shit up.
So one of my earlier memories is like having a spider leg sitting, sticking out of my sippy cup. Also, Black Widows.
I once woke up.
Okay.
I once woke up and brewed coffee, and I looked at my cup of coffee after I poured milk in it, and there was just a dead spider floating in it. I'm like, well,
that's okay. Just
he died. He died horribly. I assume he just
Probably
died in the boiling coffee. So, if you wonder, how do you like those giant spider bosses that are in every Souls game? Then.
Quilag doesn't bother me that much. I'm too busy watching out for the barf. Is there a spider boss in Dark Souls 2?
Every single Souls game has a giant spider boss, and Quelaag is the smallest one.
Okay, which is the spider boss in Dark Souls 2? Because I don't think I fought it yet.
It's one of the 4 main bosses in the first half of the
I
first
haven't
portion
fought
of
it
the
yet.
game.
I think I've only fought the Sinner.
It's a big one. Also, when you encounter that boss,
right now
take a look around, because you might. I have a theory that location where the spider boss is a location that's very noteworthy from the original Souls game.
What, Demon Souls or Dark Souls?
The original Dark Souls. I have to be specific about that. Yeah,
it's like when you say the original
boss
Souls
chamber
game.
when you find it. And I'd be interested in seeing if you think what I think about it being a specific location from Dark Souls.
Oh, you think it's going to be like the bed of chaos or something like that, or
Like
somewhere else.
I think there's very specific information about it being like basically the boss chamber of a previous boss from another game.
Okay, well, I will pay attention to that. I have to get there first. I'm currently in
Exactly.
the Iron Keep.
So
Actually,
do-
speaking of,
currently
Core, how far are
stuck.
you?
I am stuck.
Oh, you got stuck. What'd you get stuck on?
Belfry Tower. Fuck
Oh,
that
Belfry
place.
Tower.
Luna?
Because of the
That-
PvP?
Yes. Dude,
Oh, really?
I'm getting, I go fucking 5 feet. Oh, you're invaded. Oh, I'm sorry. No masses are fucking attacking you too, and they're fucking biting your ankles off. Fucking can't
Well,
deal
you
with
know
that
you
shit.
can go offline for it, right?
That's cheap. It's cheating.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't- I didn't care.
Wonder's cheating
I don't like
at
people.
Dark Souls, basically. He
I don't
his,
know,
his
it's-
way of dealing with all of the Covenant defended areas in the game is just to not engage in any PvP at all.
Yep, I don't
Well-
like PvP. Okay, so
I got
was
double
I
recording-
can
invaded.
understand that. Holy shit, dude! I got fucking invaded by 2 people at once.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
I
happens.
didn't know that was possible.
Every time you
Pull the
walk
internet
into
cable.
any belfry or any location that's defended by Covenant anywhere in Dark Souls, you're likely to get invaded by 2 people simultaneously. And the funny thing is, I actually won. I just
Yeah.
demolished all the
So-
people that invaded me, and then went and took out the boss.
I was
I
recording
don't-
Dark Souls. Whoa, you go,
I
Core.
was just gonna say, I don't like the fact that when you defeat somebody that invades you, you don't get anything from it. There's no like the reward is that you didn't die. But let's say you're human, you lose
The
your
negative is-
humanity if they kill you. But
Yeah.
you don't regain it if you
I think you
ward
get
them off.
souls for killing them.
I don't care.
I think that's
Not
about
much.
it, though. Yeah, it's not a lot, no.
It's probably a percentage of the souls that they're holding on them.
Could be.
So if they're
I'd
not
wager-
holding very many, then it doesn't.
Yeah.
then
In
it's
which
not gonna
case, that
be
guy
very
who
many.
killed me today probably got a lot of souls, because I had 80,000 on me.
Because isn't that how PvP worked in Dark Souls 1? Is when you killed
Yeah.
somebody, you got a percentage of how many souls they were holding.
I'm not sure, but that's often true. Like, even back in, like, Diablo 2 days, you kill someone in PvP, they dropped, like, 20% of their gold or something like that.
Well, I know in Dark Souls 1, you never lost your soul. But they were rewarded a certain percentage of what your souls were. So, like, it was kind of like inflation of souls, but it didn't matter.
Yeah. They could also potentially steal your humanity if they had certain items that they could use to take it from you.
Oh, yeah, because one day I freaking killed this guy in PvP, and he dropped 20 twin humanities. 20.
That doesn't even make sense to me.
I was like, oh, what's that pretty glowing thing on the ground? And I picked it up because I had never seen what things looked like when they were dropped by another player. It was fucking 20 twin humanities. Okay,
Nailed
I'll
it.
take that. Hells yes.
Dear Lord. So do we want to delve into this whole Tyrannicon topic? Maybe.
Oh, I thought you guys
Uh,
already talked
Things
about
got that. No, we've actually never had a podcast since then.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
yeah,
Oh, really?
it takes us a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Well,
but
we have to
before that,
organize
can
people. It's tough sometimes.
Yeah. Can I say the one thing about why I don't like Dark Souls PvP in the slightest?
Why? Is
No,
it the
you
lag?
can't.
Well, actually, yeah, the lag. I had one guy. I don't know what he was doing, but he was hitting me from across the room. I was nowhere near him, and he was hitting
Yeah.
me with a rapier or something. But I was actually doing Anor Londo on my Dark Souls 1 series because I'm not done with that yet, frustratingly enough. And so there's one guy. I'm about to go fight like Smo and Ornstein, and there's one guy that just plants himself in the middle between those two giants and just stands there with his shield up, waiting for me to come down so he can hit me.
Yeah, that's one thing that really kind of pisses me off about it is, you go and you're engaging in PvP, but yet the things around them are only aggroing on you and not them as well.
Funnily enough,
Or
there's actually an
horseshit.
item in Dark Souls 2 that lets you turn all the enemies around on all of the people invading you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's the seed of something or other. It's one of the starter
Seed
items.
of the
so I think
giant
you can get more.
tree or whatever, or something like. Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
of the starting items you can pick. You consume it, and it makes it so that all the enemies now aggro on the invader.
Forever?
And I think that invader basically.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's
I
a
think
consumable.
you have to have more
unfortunately.
of them. But yeah, I like how Andrew's checked out of this Dark Souls conversation. Is clearly microwaving something in the background, thinking that we're not going to be able to hear it.
I'm not microwaving anything.
Is that not you? Who is that? Who is doing that?
I was.
Yeah, don't fucking fuck with me. I know what you're doing. You son of a bitch.
I'm bored. You guys for like fucking half this podcast. You've been talking about 2 games I have no like any weight into. So I was like, I'm gonna make some food and fucking, maybe masturbate a couple of times, read some fucking Nintendo news. I don't know, fucking whatever.
Sweet. Can we watch?
Now we understand.
Well, no, because we're over video, we're over voice.
Okay,
you can't watch
mandated webcams for the next one.
Oh god, I'm scared.
Weird.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was reading. I guess Nintendo released some fucking shitty news, and they want to get into the whole fucking figurine shit. Did you see that?
No, I
yes,
didn't, actually.
That well-known field of figurine shit, the growing industry.
Okay, like the Skylander stuff is the new Disney, that new Disney thing.
Oh yeah, Disney Infinity.
That kind of figurine.
Yeah, they want to start doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're doing for Disney Infinity too. Actually, Disney Infinity. Disney Infinity 1 already has figurines. This is old news.
No, I know. I'm saying that Nintendo's trying to get into
Nintendo,
that.
not Disney.
Oh, never mind.
yeah, this is Nintendo. Disney's done. They've came and conquered.
Surprise for Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. You have to buy every individual character as a figurine before you can use them.
That would be the worst decision.
Yeah. No, it was
Starter kit only comes with a Jigglypuff.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I want a Jigglypuff.
It's kind of interesting because they want to make these little figurines apparently interact with both Wii U and 3DS games, but the 3DS doesn't have the chip that allows it to do that. So they're just going to release an accessory that allows you to do it, make extra money somehow. And I guess I don't know. There's supposed to be a bunch of crazy shit going on. They're trying to release a website to keep statistic tracks of your Mario Kart racing stuff, and then of course the news about the new Pokemon games, Ruby and Sapphire being remade. But it's Nintendo is just kind of weird. They do some weird shit sometimes.
Well, they're trying to stay like new and hip.
What?
They've also decided to basically reclassify their company as a toy company at this point.
Well, I mean, in Japan, yeah. I mean,
have you ever played Pokemon games?
I have beaten all of them. I actually, aside from,
I beat one of them. I was 8.
Yeah, good job.
Suck it, yellow.
I beat all of them. It's been a long, treacherous journey.
Same.
Never played a single one.
I still haven't caught them all. Because they keep fucking making new ones. Bullshit. Every time I get that certificate, it's like, you caught all the Pokemon. Can't wait till the next game when we add another 150. God fucking damn it, man.
What
Stop
do you mean
it.
you haven't caught all 682 Pokemon?
I haven't because the stupid fucking games don't exist on the DS version. So I can't catch all of them. It's fucking irritating.
Oh yeah, it's kind of impossible.
That's why I was excited when they're like, we're going to start remaking all the old ones on the DS too. I was like, oh, thank God. So now I can actually fucking catch all the fucking Pokemon and then achieve the one life goal I've set for myself as a gamer, which is fucking catch them all.
So what camp are you in? Are you one of those people that thinks that all the new Pokemon are all shit and all the old ones were good?
Pokemon is a fucking, it's a kid game. It's a game for kids to stop talking to their parents. That's all it is. It's not a good or a bad game. I mean, they have enough Pokemon to keep you fucking interested with your ADDs
by
and
Pokemon,
whatnot.
I mean the actual Pokemon themselves. There's like a movement within the Pokemon fandom where they freak out about like, all the new designs are shitty, that's like a keyring or something, but all these old ones that were magnets and sludge, those were all good.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
well,
sure.
to be fair,
now they're just making
you
inanimate
give any
object
excuses
Pokemon.
for
I'm like,
either
but
of
they
those
started
two.
there.
But okay, the ice cream Pokemon is fucking atrocious, and the trash pile one was even worse. We already had a pile of goop. We didn't need a pile of junk.
Trash.
I mean, come on. You're making 600 and something fucking Pokemon. You're going to eventually run out of random bullshit you can think of. I mean, you can't have every Pokemon be a Ho-Oh. Jesus Christ. You can't have all of them.
The original Pokemon had a fucking magnet. It was just a magnet. And
Yeah,
then
one of them
then I had another one that's like, I'm a Pokeball, but I blew up. And when I evolve, my colors invert, and I get now it's red on the other side.
Yeah.
That's two
One of
Pokemon.
them
Actually,
was-
two Pokemon are a ball that has a line across the center and two colors.
One of them is a starfish that, when it evolves, gets another starfish behind it. That's it. That's all
it becomes
it
a
fucking
stack
is.
of starfish. That was a theme in the original Pokemon, actually, is that a Pokemon would evolve and then it would just become more of that Pokemon. Like Doduo, Dotrio, and then like Dig Dug or whatever. Well, that's a video game.
Diglett.
What, like
Diglett and like
Execute,
Dotrio, I think, or what it's called. The one that looks like three men are in a hole,
Diglett,
like hugging in a hole
Diglett.
together.
Diglett and Dugtrio.
Have you seen homoerotic Dotrio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
Best
that. It's pretty
picture.
beautiful. So,
It's pretty beautiful.
speaking of really cool things, regardless of your opinion on Pokemon, the Poke Noir is actually really well done, if you've ever heard of that.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
so it's like a comic somebody did, where it's like grayscale black and white. It was very short. It was like a one-off thing that they just decided to do for shits and giggles. There was some artist screwing around. And essentially what it was like a very short sequence where like a couple of members of Team Rocket go into a Poke Center and like loot it or something. But to get in, they just hand like Nurse Joy a Voltorb saying like, he's got a problem where he likes to blow himself up on pretty ladies. And so she's just holding this like, you know, Voltorb that's about to blow up and she's freaking out. They rob the place and just leave. And as they're leaving, they're just like, oh yeah, and Voltorb, explode. Entire Poke Center just blows up. And it's like, wow, okay, can we have a game like this, please?
Oh yeah, I think I've seen this.
Pokemon with permadeath?
Or at least Pokemon that's not freaking fully for children.
I don't know about that.
Never
All
gonna
that
happen.
Pokemon's trying to indoctrinate our children to believe in the Obamacare socialized medicine. What was this? The treat you for free was the fuck.
Okay.
I want
So-
us away from them.
When I used to
video
live in
games.
California, we were actually driving up to more or less where you live, Keith. So we just turned on the radio. I think we were next to Death Valley or something like that. We were kind of out off in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, that's not
But,
where I live.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not even close.
Okay,
Holy shit.
I know
That's where I
we ended
went-
up
that's
in
where my
San
geology
Francisco
trip
at
was.
some point on this trip.
Well,
but
San Francisco and Death Valley are like
Also known as
those
the
on
next door neighbor
opposite
to Death Valley.
Yeah.
shush, it's been 10 years since I've lived there.
Okay.
I get a
well,
free
Death
pass
Valley. Death Valley is closer to Mexico, and San Francisco is closer to not
Well,
Mexico.
You might have
lived
come
in,
across
uh,
the fact once that San Francisco's not located in a desert.
Well, we lived in San Diego, so we were just going north at
Oh.
that point. It was like
Well, yeah.
east and then north. Whatever.
I
Details.
mean, literally
flip
everything
on
is
the-
north of San Diego.
Exactly. So we flip on the radio just out of sheer curiosity and boredom because there's nothing else going on. And
What, in a car? You're right. It's just driving.
yeah, pretty much. So what do
Yeah,
we
like it's
instantly
GTA
hear?
or something.
We just hear this man shouting the word Pokemon. And of course, my brother are really like into Pokemon at this point, so it's just like, okay, let's listen and figure out what this man has to say. And apparently
God.
one of those like really crazy evangelical preachers
Yep.
that
Oh.
really hated Pokemon. So
Yep.
he's like sitting there just ranting about the devil and stuff like that. I must have been like 8, 9 at this point, just being like, Mommy, what is this guy talking about? Like, what does Pokemon have to do with the devil? It was actually quite traumatic for like an 8-year-old, but it was
Really?
definitely a
What,
pretty
what
good.
is star you mean I'm going to hell?
Yeah, pretty much. It was Pikachu specifically. I don't think the man knew of any other Pokemon.
That's probably true, actually. The only one that matters, right? Mr. Little Pick and Chew and the Pokemans.
Pretty much.
My mom used to
But-
call him Pick and Chew. I'm like, it's not a nose. It's a lightning rat.
God.
You're making this weird. Also,
I can just
Pokemon
imagine-
sounds
I
really
just-
weird too.
I can just always imagine the headlines from evangelicals like, "Oh, new Pokemon's called Ho-Oh? More like Ho No. Evolution is bad."
More like, oh no, I win.
Pokemon is just such a it's such an innocent game. And it's if you think any more of it, you're just being an asshole.
Because if you think about it too much, it starts getting into really creepy, like, animal abuse territory.
Yeah, but at the same
We
time,
take these things from the wilderness and we enslave them to make them fight to the death.
well,
Like,
actually,
like those two black people from Django Unchained.
I don't want to come out and look like a complete fucking loser. But
Oh no,
I've seen
I
all
know
the
there's a
Pokemon
whole
movies.
game where the whole story is about like, see, PETA, they actually like it. The Pokemon want to be trained and fought together. It's what they live for.
No, there's
You mean every single Pokemon game since Black and White, pretty much?
There was two
Yeah,
major
basically.
there was two major revolutions in the Pokemon world. One of them was during a time, but before Pokeballs existed. So there's no way to just fucking catch them all. Sorry, Ash.
Oh god, you're
So-
going full lore.
I'm going full lore. There was
Oh,
a time
no.
when Pokemon would just fucking destroy people. Like you'd walk into the woods, like I need to fucking get some wheat today, and there'd be a fucking Articuno, like bitch, please, and you'd be like, well, please don't, and the Articuno would fucking freeze you and kill you and fly away.
Why
Like,
does mankind exist? How do they live?
because they killed Pokemon.
Oh, God.
They just started killing them. Like we got to do something about these fucking Pokemon.
I really
And-
want that Last of Us game.
and it just killing the Pokemon. And then finally someone came out like, what if we just caught them and then made them fight each other?
I
And they're
just
like,
imagine you have to like
yeah.
sneak up and like shiv a fucking like Hitmonchan to death so that you can get your little companions out of there and navigate
I
this
imagine it's
deadly
worse.
environment of horrifying
I'm just imagining
creatures.
it's kind of like the Voltorb thing. Like someone just walks up to a Hitmonlee and just holds a Voltorb next to it. It's like, I'm either not going to see my family today, or you're going to be a new part of it. You get to make that decision.
You use a Voltorb to like breach a door. Call of Duty Pokemon. Just every franchise Pokemon version can be. We can make using this history of violent Pokemon and everything and people dying. We could just turn every video game franchise into a better Pokemon game.
Well, I mean, if you think about it
Dark
too, it's
Souls,
like
Pokemon.
it gets even worse. where
Pokemon
it's like,
MOBA.
That probably
Pokemon
exists
MOBA?
in some fan
Yeah.
form by now.
Well, there's actually a Pokemon Tower Defense like Flash game. I actually remember that being halfway decent, surprisingly enough.
And
It
your
probably
memory's
wasn't.
probably wrong.
Yeah,
Actually, Pokemon Pinball was probably the best pinball game I've ever played.
I have it on the Game Boy.
Because
Pokemon
there's actually
Outlast.
a reason.
Sadly, that game takes a battery.
Okay. I would not approve of Pokemon Outlast just because I've been playing Outlast. like an
Pokemon
hour ago.
Outlast now with murder
I'm
and
still
rape.
shaking a little bit. Ugh. Yeah.
Dr. Traeger's here to
Pokemon
slowly peel the
Bioshock.
organs out of Pikachu.
So I was
some
talking
nice
to Geek
fingers you got
Remix
there.
on Twitter. I was talking to Geek Remix on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, is the DLC any good?" And she's like, "It's good if you don't mind like erotic dismemberment. Save the peepees and hashtags."
I am so ready to let's play this.
Yeah, no.
I was like,
What,
I've
let's
already
play
freaked out, and
peepees?
I'm barely into the game. Well, apparently you see a dick getting chopped off or bitten
What?
off. I'm not entirely sure in the new Outlast DLC.
By the
Oh,
way,
really?
Outlast, Rule 34,
Yes.
creepiest thing ever.
Nah, I think Necromorph.
Because everyone's just covered in blood.
I don't know. I read reviews on the DLC, and people were like, "It made me really uncomfortable," and I was like, "I don't think
Really?
so."
Outlast made you feel uncomfortable? Isn't that the point?
It's like they said it made them feel uncomfortable and that like this is inhumane kind of way. I was like, you know what? People are just too sensitive. People are too childish. They're just like, oh god, it's too realistic. I can't handle it. My poor stomach is not ready for the reality of death. It's
What,
like,
they fucking black out for the entire Dr. Traeger part of the game?
but
the-
I mean, no, I'm
like, it's
saying
not like
that
it's,
they're
like
saying
it's
there's
new
some
or anything.
Well, no, they're saying there's scenes that are a little bit more down the rabbit hole than there was in the original game. Like it gets even worse. And I don't know. It's just like I watched
I'm
a
excited.
couple of I watched a couple of videos of the scenes people were talking about, and they were mild. I mean, they weren't anything like, oh, I have to stop the game because I'm gonna like shit, lunch out of every orifice because it's so disgusting. It's just like it's just okay, yeah, that guy's dead. Since it's all like virtual, it means nothing. There's no amount of graphics can make the game look so realistic that I feel sick to my stomach or that I feel super uncomfortable watching it, like it's too real for me. I don't know. I mean, maybe I just lost humanity a long time ago, but it's just like, it's not that
Well, I
bad.
mean, we've already
I'm
documented
still bothered
that.
by it.
Are you?
I just got done playing with the game right before doing the podcast.
I don't know.
You feeling shaky, Wander?
Well,
I
you were there.
was.
You were there with me, Keith. You were there when we played it the first time that we didn't put on the channel because it was obviously not going to.
Oh
work.
yeah, we had to abort our two-person series on Outlast, which was done in the same style of all the other horror games we've done in the past because Andrew just wasn't having it.
Yeah, I wasn't scared. I was actively just disappointed.
He was actually furious with the game.
Yeah.
I think the last moment we had was me running through the water yelling, "I'm Usain Bolt," and screaming. I think that's how it boiled down to me.
Did that scare Chris Walker away? Did it work? Or was he
It
all up
wasn't
in your
Chris
business?
Walker. It was the point where the lights were off, and there was the guy with the nail bat chasing you around.
Oh. Well, it's usually
That seems-
Chris Walker, because he's like the only enemy in that game. It gets really obnoxious, actually, at some point, because you're like 5.5 hours into this game, and it's like, is Chris Walker for the 20th? How did he even get here? There's some crazy ordeal to get to this location, and he's just here. Like, he's this all-knowing phantom.
I was about to say, isn't his character like super big too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
he
the
just
like,
big
he just
bulky
doesn't
character.
slides through the vents.
I just don't. Okay. There's just some things in horror games where it's better just go like, yeah, okay, I guess it happened. I'm not gonna ask anymore
See,
because
it's
otherwise
easier to
it'll
buy
ruin
that
it.
there's just guys everywhere in a game like Amnesia or like Penumbra, because there's just more of them everywhere. The problem with Outlast with Chris Walker is that they use him so much that's like, I can't believe one person is in all these places. Whereas otherwise, like the twins, they show up like every few hours, so it's like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. They're just here somewhere, roaming around. But one specific character is just everywhere, and it gets kind of weird.
He just got a lot of time on his hands, I guess.
Literally all the time on his hands.
He's got nothing fucking else
He
to
ain't
do
got no
in that
job.
insane
He ain't
asylum.
got no friends. He ain't
I mean,
got no
he doesn't
lips.
have to. You have to think about it too. Like, there gets a point where the enemy itself feels really stupid, like the Chris Walker character, because what does he have to fear? That's it. Like, what is his scary? What makes him scared at that asylum? Nothing, because he's a huge goddamn fucking monster. Like, there's nothing terrifying about him except for the fact that he's still here. Why is he here? He could just leave. He's so fucking strong and so fucking huge. Why doesn't he just leave? The building's not made out of titanium. You could just fucking break the goddamn walls.
Or climb out the window like the main character.
Yeah,
I found it. I also found it concerning that like 20 minutes into the game, you're hanging out of a window. It's like, well, can you just leave? Like,
and no one else.
We're not that high up, right?
Yeah, and no one else leaves.
Yeah, no one seems to escape. Oh well.
Why? You could even go on the argument like, well, they're crazy, but it's like, you would think that craziness would get bored after a while. You just get bored of being like, well, I'm crazy in the same place. This is boring. Maybe I should
Also,
go be crazy. I don't know.
Crazy gets tired of everyone trying to rape and murder you.
Well, it's kind of hard to
I'll-
rape and
it's like,
murder.
maybe I wanna get away from here.
Well, yeah, but the two main scary characters in that game, which are like the twins and Chris Walker's character, is like both of them aren't getting raped by anybody. Like, no one's gonna fuck with those guys. But
No, I'm just talking about the general nature of anyone getting out. Like, you'd think a lot of people would want to get the fuck away from Chris.
well, yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, I guess you could argue that Kruger and the religious guy maybe step up and try to prevent people, but I don't know. Unless you're telling me like Chris Walker's on a salary and he has to be there. Like, he works for the company and he's just sitting there every day toiling away, making sure
He's
the
like a
idiots
monster
stay
for
inside the
hire.
asylum. Yeah, like he's just a crazy guy that is just stuck in an insane asylum because he gets paid to. I mean, that would make more sense to me than just like, I'm just a crazy straying, I'm just a guy who just wants to hang out in this asylum. I could leave anytime, but nah, fuck it.
Yeah. I try not to think about horror storylines too much, just because I feel like they almost
ruins
never
the
make all that
illusion.
much sense. Like, try to explain to someone the story of, like, Evil Dead. It's like, that you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get away from me, you're creepy.
Are you on
Like, it's
fucking drugs?
Like, both versions of Evil Dead and the sequels and so on, it's just like, it's noise. It doesn't make sense, but like, it's the batshit insanity of it's what makes it interesting in the first place. But you can't explain it. Like, there's a scene in Evil Dead where it just starts raining blood just because. I'm like, I don't think this is... What? How does it ever happen? How did it get up there? How did you get blood to, like, evaporate and form
As an
clouds
astronaut.
of blood? I don't think that it works that way.
God.
Not believing any
awful.
of these things.
By the way, found out a nice tidbit about the new Bungie game that is supposed to come out someday.
Oh, Destiny?
Over the rainbow. Yeah, apparently it's going to cost $500 million to make.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
sounds,
surprised.
it sounds like they're spending that much on it. It supposedly might
That's-
be the most expensive game ever made.
Yeah, that would be the most, since GTA 5 has that record right now with 250 million?
I want to say that
265. Sorry, it was 265 million.
Tor costed. I can't remember if
Oh,
Old
yeah,
Republic costed
Tor
2
is-
or 300 million, but it was a lot too.
Yeah. Actually, I think Elder Scrolls Online might be a heavy contender. They're sinking a shit ton of money into that game for no reason.
Remember when Shenmue was
either
expensive?
Either way, $500 million to a game that doesn't really have much, like, I don't know. To me, it hasn't really proven that I want to buy it at all. It hasn't given me any reason to be interested, aside from like one trailer I've seen where it was like, it's gonna be awesome, like kind of like the Skyrim thing.
As a visuals buff, I want it so bad. As a normal person, eh.
I haven't played. I haven't
I'm-
played any close attention to it yet, but the gist of what I've gotten is that it's essentially Borderlands.
Is it?
It's like Borderlands crossed with Halo.
Oh,
Yeah,
good. I
like
hope it
well,
fails.
it's from the developers of Halo, but like it's a some sort of form of like open world shooter RPG with loot. And I'm
God
like,
damn
well,
it.
that didn't work in Borderlands for me. I thought that was irritating mostly.
Well, what they're trying to do is kind of make it like Borderlands, but so you run around in like teams of 4 or something like that. But every once in a while, you'll run across a world event. So suddenly, like a shit ton of players will come out of nowhere. And so normally you're just off playing with your friends, kind of like Borderlands, kind of like Diablo, and then suddenly say there's like an invasion happening near you, and kind of like in Guild Wars 2, just everybody comes out of the woodwork and works together to kill X thing or many things.
Yeah, it sounds somewhat like the original Guild Wars then, where it's like it's an MMO that's heavily instanced.
Yeah, which to me is actually kind of a cool idea because they say we were playing. I don't know, what do we play? It's multiplayer. Really, nothing as a good example.
Dark
I guess if we were
Souls.
playing, if we were playing Dark Souls, and so you can co-op with like 3 people, but maybe there are a couple of bosses that you wander into the room. Instead of just being by yourself, it's actually like up to 10 players, or every single player that's fighting the boss at the exact same time is just lumped into the same room, and suddenly you have to fight like Super Seath that has like 6 different heads, and you have to have
Super
like
safe.
I don't know.
What?
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
It's a bad
concept of what you're
example.
saying.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking
I'm
about.
like, are you talking about a vagina? What's going on?
I would not fight a 5-headed vagina.
I was more thinking of like Diablo, like
Andrew
if you're
Wilson,
running around in
2014.
one of the open world areas and suddenly like pit of hell opens up and suddenly like there's a shit ton of players converging on a location and you have to fight your way in.
Okay. Yeah, no thanks. I'll pass on that game.
My issue is
But
just
no,
that
I just-
every MMO
On top
I've
of
encountered basically ever is just has super uninteresting basic gameplay, and it's just about stretching that relatively vanilla experience for as long as possible. So I'm kind of immediately turned off the moment they even say massively multiplayer at this point.
I get the feeling it's
yeah.
going to be a lot like Defiance, but better.
Well,
I would hope
not-
so.
on top of that, Bungie has a pretty bad policy for Let's Players.
Do they?
Yay!
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know
As
that.
as far as I remember, I could be totally wrong and speaking
Well,
out my
Activision
ass.
doesn't
And
though.
that
Right?
wouldn't be the first, but yeah, no, Bungie's come out and said like you can't. It was either maybe it was just saying that you
Well,
can't
thankfully
monetize
they
your
don't really
videos.
they haven't made a lot of games up to this point that we'd really want to let's play.
Well, Halo.
Yeah, but again, the main thing is that this is a game published by Activision, and Activision loves the fuck out of Let's Players.
Yeah. Like
If this
Call
was a
of Duty
Bun-
Let's Plays?
Yeah, if this was a Bungie only, like Bungie published game, I would probably be, maybe concerned. Activision is not going to let the YouTube community not fucking have its way with this game. Because
Speaking
they're
of
going to spend
Activision, actually,
they're-
they're probably pouring so much money into Destiny specifically because they're worried about Call of Duty sort of dying out, and so they want to get their next big horse before that happens.
Well,
they
to their
do.
credit,
They have a 10-year contract with Bungie,
yeah.
so they're
Well-
riding it out.
Yeah, couple of things about Activision. The Skylanders series is actually making them a silly amount of money because kids will dump large amounts of dough for just like the $10 per action figure thing.
Oh,
just as a
absolutely.
little video game.
I collected
bullshit.
Pokemon
I've never
cards
seen
for
that
no
happen
reason.
before. Oh yeah.
I
I didn't
will
even
admit,
play
I
it.
have like 4 of them sitting next to me right now.
I don't even know how to
What?
play Pokemon, but I had binders of cards for no good reason because my parents would listen to me too much about buying them.
It's basic fucking subtraction, idiot.
No, I just never learned. Like I never read the rules ever in any way.
Yeah.
I just collected the cards for
Yeah,
no
kids
reason.
collected it for the sake of collecting it.
My first booster pack had a
God.
Zapdos in it, and I traded it for a Gyarados because I had no idea how fucked I was. Because I didn't even know what a
that was
Zapdos
not a good
at the
idea.
time.
Man, you're dumb. I have all 150 cards. Or 151. Sorry, I got the card from the movie too.
I had 12 Dittos.
So
Damn it. Fucking dittos.
Just an army of homunculi.
the other thing is, I know they kind of did this based on Titanfall, but the new Call of Duty game that they're coming out with, the like sci-fi looking one,
What?
I'm actually excited for that. Yeah, the new Call of Duty is
Yeah,
going
the
to
new
be
Call
sci-fi.
of Duty, the
This is another
trailers
Call of
for
Duty.
it looks pretty good.
I look forward
Yeah.
to Call of Duty games at this point that are developed by Treyarch.
They
Call
have
of
a
Duty-
spider tank.
'Cause
Advanced Warfare?
I really enjoyed. No,
Yeah.
Advanced Warfare. Oh yeah. Never
Warfare.
mind. Yeah, right. You were
This is
correct.
fucking. Wait, what is
Like Black Ops
It
2
looks
was
like
a genuinely
Battlefield
good
24.
game with a fully fledged campaign with branching paths based on decisions you made and challenges built into every mission. I'm like, holy fuck! That's actually designed to be played single player in a meaningful and deep way that has like more to it than just like, oh, Blaze did
What?
this in 4 hours
Ah.
and then it can fuck off forever, which is how every other
fuck?
previous game had been.
Whoa. Yeah, no.
These live
No.
reactions brought to you by Andrew Wilson.
No fucking thanks. Oh, you can fuck off right now. First of all, I'm not flying on a helicopter that's got 2 little fucking circular spinny things. No, I'm not a loser. Secondly, I'm not gonna fucking play
What do you
a
have,
game
what do you have against
where...
the Hornet from Halo?
What?
Yeah, Zeus.
No, but shoot it with a fucking rocket launcher. I don't fly in stupid ass vehicles. You're either gonna give me a fucking vehicle that doesn't have any need of propulsion, just hovers. Like I don't want to see like spinny blades or nothing. Like the yeah.
Poor
what is it, the
Andrew
Covenant-
never beat Halo 3.
Covenant
Just
vehicles.
couldn't get past that
Covenant
Hornet level.
I didn't have to fly it. Pow flew it.
God damn
I didn't have to touch it. I don't lower myself down. Nope. No siree. It was nice 'cause Halo
That is
tele-
still you flying in it, by the way.
No, I didn't have to be in it. Teleports me.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I guess that is true. In Halo, you can just leave your partner and they just warp around.
Yep.
Damn
didn't
you
have
and
to
your
fly in it.
loopholes!
I don't.
I
fly
would
in
do
it.
that to people and just drop them off of cliffs.
I don't like that.
Phil
Secondly,
did not like playing Halo that much with me.
I don't buy the premise that those helicopter things can cloak. I just don't. I don't care how futuristic it is. I'm not gonna be playing a game where it's like, and there's a helicopter, you just didn't notice it. No, fuck you. I heard it. I heard the fucking helicopter. Like,
Helicopter intensifies.
yeah. I don't know. This just looks dumb. Everybody's jetpacking around. There's fucking like poverty. This feels like they're trying to do something here that I don't want.
I look
And he
forward
knows how
to
you really
getting it
feel.
from a red box.
Ugh.
'Cause
Oh, good. I can follow them on
I'm
Instagram.
completely done with Call of Duty multiplayer, but I actually enjoy the campaigns because they're over in like 4 hours and they're actually like, you don't get bored at the very least, and then it's over and then you move on.
Oh wait, he's like Terminator. He's got a glove that's has robotic limbs on it or something.
Is it,
Oh,
is
is
it
he like,
an exoskeleton?
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
like an exoskeleton.
Yeah, as in like the same kind of exosuit that's in what's it called? Elysium, the movie
So now
Yeah,
it's
it
that came out
Avatar.
recently.
But if the campaign of this game's anything like Black Ops 2, which it should be because it's the same developer, then it'll be worth playing. It'll actually have like genuine replay value of like try to do these things during the missions, or if you do this action that's a choice in the story, it actually changes the path of the story. Like that's something that happened in Black Ops 2. And what I found really interesting about it is that they weren't like these Walking Dead or Mass Effect style moments of like, and then time freezes and you have to make this life and death situation. Do you save this character or that character? And they're going to be dead forever. Like, it's not spelled out like that. It's just playing missions in specific ways or doing very specific actions during certain moments causes forks to change in the story, even if they're not telling you it's going to happen. And like,
did you ever play Spec Ops, by the way?
Yes.
How did that compare?
In Spec Ops, I don't remember a lot of opportunities to actually make decisions that were that meaningful. And half the
I just
time
remember
they just sort of
like
force you down a lane. The whole point was that your character was supposed to do awful shit during that game, so that you feel bad about it when it all gets really shitty.
Yeah, so emotional.
Because basically the whole Spec Ops thing is that like you're sent in on a mission, and over the course of the game you're finding out maybe the mission is not legitimate, and maybe the actions you're doing are actually causing horrible, horrible things to happen, and everything you've done in this entire game was a mistake.
Don't spoil too much of it for me.
Yeah,
I haven't
I'm not
actually
talking
played
about things specifically, but yeah, that's why people talk about it so much, is because it's a guilt game.
Actually,
wait a
morally
second.
ambiguous.
So you
Yeah.
can, you can throw people?
Now he's in. We sold it. 500 copies sold right to his house.
Okay, I'll play this game if I can beat it without using a gun. If I can beat this game, no, if I can beat this game without having to use a single weapon and just use my exoskeleton, I'll play this game.
You're gonna like
Because this
Batman your way through this future
bullshit.
war.
This dude punched through the tank door. I'm not gonna play a single game of the. I'm not gonna play a single second of this game that I can't just use the fucking exoskeleton 100% of the time.
You must have really enjoyed Crisis then.
Because I love you just pick up shit and throw it at people. It's like, oh man, look at all your guys and your guns. I have a fucking car, and then throw it, and then people are just like, well, I guess I can't shoot the car because it does nothing.
Nailed it.
It's not gonna be like that at all.
I love how quick the turnaround here was, though.
Well, once I saw him pick up a guy off a tank and chuck him halfway through this the freeway, I was like, well, okay, I can do that the whole game. If I can do that the whole game, I'll be okay with that.
I'm fully in. I was sick of World War II shooters, and I immediately got way more sick of modern shooters. I am so on board for everyone suddenly becoming a sci-fi shooter, because that's where imagination happens. Because there's no standardization there. See, every World War II game has the fucking Kar 98K and all the same weapons, and then all the modern games all have the same modern weapons. Future games, they're just fucking bullshit, crazy ass stuff happening, and then suddenly every game's gonna actually feel fresh from each other.
Which is why I was so sad that 2142 folded, essentially.
It did?
Well, I mean,
I played the shit out of that game.
I played the shit out of it too, but it was not nearly as popular as any of the other Battlefield games, really. Which is why they went back to like Bad Company.
Well, that sucks because that game was awesome.
Yeah, but even then, at least you get Titanfall, you get Destiny, you get the inevitable next
game.
Halo, and then probably there's an alternate future Wolfenstein coming out.
You've played it, Core?
Titanfall?
Yeah. I don't actually know anybody that's played it, so you wouldn't actually recommend picking it up?
It's a fun game, don't get me wrong. It's not worth the $60 price that you'd have to pay for it. It's not like so next gen, beautiful, great, awesome, new and fresh. No, it's so what? You can be in a Titan and kill other Titans. Basically the way how the matches play out is you shoot everybody like in a regular FPS. Guns do different things, but whatever. They're like normal guns in any other FPS. And then at some point, you're allowed to call down your Titan. And at that point, everyone's in a Titan. So you go from being on foot as a human, being on metal feet as a Titan. Just different rules apply, but the same thing is going on,
The game interests me because it kind of seemed to incorporate MOBA elements into a shooter for the first time I've seen in a while. It has this whole concept of shooting down creeps basically in order to further your goals instead of just shooting the same three enemy players over and over again.
Not really. No, they're there to annoy you. Really, I've gotten killed by them.
I think almost everybody in the room that you're playing in for Titanfall, like everybody else aside from you, are there to annoy you. Like that's the entire purpose of playing multiplayer games that are first-person shooters. Is everybody is fucking irritating except for you.
But
Yeah.
that game went
Like I
from
said,
something
it's
I
fun.
might have bought right away to something that I might not even bother playing, just because the moment I realized that it's like I knew it was all online, all multiplayer, but when I realized that it was another stop and pop like aim, left trigger aim, right trigger shoot game instead of an more arcade shooter, which I felt would be more fitting for that kind of like free roaming mech sort of game. Like when I realized that you had to sit there in iron sights constantly, I just sort of aborted right away.
Yeah.
It's like
That is
watching
true,
it's like
you do
watching a
have to
sitcom
iron
with a
sight a
laugh
lot.
track. I just can't do it.
My brother-in-law actually works for EA. I'm still trying to score a free copy from him. That's the only way I'll play the game.
That's one way to get it.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't buy it. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it.
I'm just gonna
I
kind
know
of.
he can get
I'll
me a free
hope
copy.
for a Steam sale.
Yeah.
Not
It'll
on
eventually.
Steam.
Oh yeah, right. It's on Origin. Shit.
It's on Origin.
God damn it, EA.
So that means you're not going to get any sales.
Eventually, they did.
well,
They did. They have
Titanfall's
done
already
a few
gone
good
down
sales.
to. Yeah, it's already gone down to $30. I was considering it at the time.
30?
I also might just get a shitty.
Yep.
I might just get a cheap
Oh.
copy eventually if I ever have an Xbox One too. But that's not
$15.
that's not a near future goal for me.
I would say
I
$30
would
price range is good.
I would
Sorry, don't
consider
mean to
the game.
interrupt you.
Oh, sorry. No, you think $30?
Yeah, that's pretty decent for the game. That's
I
all
won't
right.
go. I won't go any higher than 15. I won't pay more than $15 for a game like that. No. That
I've got to say,
relies-
it's gotten really easy to be patient about games going down in price now that it's so easy to have too many games on every platform.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful when like I love the fact that I'll just be playing a shit ton of games and realize, oh yeah, that's a game I forgot to like Skyrim. Oh, I forgot to buy that game like 2 years ago.
Or being like,
I guess
oh
I should
yeah,
probably-
I guess PlayStation decided to give me 20 more free games. I guess I should try those sometime.
Yeah, it's
Or Humble Bundles like, oh yeah, get Tower of Guns for $10. By the way, here's 9 other games because.
yeah, it's pretty nice to be a gamer nowadays, especially on PC.
Yeah, it is. I would say $20 is probably a better price. That's like the price that I would actually pay. But
Yeah,
30
that's-
is the price that like it's not a bad price is what I meant by it. Like
Yeah, I don't know.
it's better than 40 or 50.
It's just every
Yeah.
time I hear most of the time I hear people talk about it, and any of the videos I've watched of it, it's like unless someone gave it to me, I don't think there's any. It's not a game I think deserves money. It's a game that I think just like someone should. It's just one of those like, hey, it'd be great if it was free to play, like a MOBA. It was just a free MOBA to play with Titans in it or something. Cool, sounds great to me. Someone saying like, hey, it's $60. No, you maybe could pay me $60 to play the game, but I'm not going to pay you $60 to own this game.
Well, they overhyped the living shit out of the game.
Because it's
I'm
the only fucking thing Xbox had going for them. They're just like, but Jesus, please, someone buy the fucking game.
I'm a
Like,
bad
you could-
judgment of price though because I just spent $50 on Bound by Flame.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say, I don't really think you get to talk. You just spent $50 on fucking. God damn it.
To be fair, I don't have expenses and I have an income.
That's true.
But,
I don't.
as Titanfall peters out of this conversation, I think it's actually about time to call it for the night for this podcast. It will come back to this another week and continue on with other topics. But for
Yeah.
this group, Andrew and I, if you can find us on youtube.com/thesadgames, you can find Agent Core. You just want to speak up just for name reference real quick?
Yeah, it can be found at youtube.com/agentcore, and that's core with a 0.
All right. And then Wanderbot is actually Wanderbots, I believe. And he
Yes.
plays everything. Especially games where you die permanently and then make a new episode the next day. So you can
Yes.
find all of us on the
Yes.
YouTubes. And we're all in direct
Yep, you can-
competition with each other and don't watch each other's videos, and we secretly all hate each other and are just scheming each
And
other's
thumb
demise.
down everything that you post. Thumb down,
Yes.
thumb down, and then I report it.
I'm literally every
This-
thumb down that Wander has ever gotten.
I do actually find it funny that the three of us, not counting Andrew, have been playing pretty much exactly the same games, or at least will have the exact same games on their channels
Oh, yeah.
at some point.
When I first
Like Banner
encountered it,
Saga.
like we're currently both playing Core and I are both
Dark Souls
currently
2.
in the middle of Dark Souls 2 and Bound by Flame at the same time. And when I met him for the first time and went to his channel, we were both in the middle of doing Banner Saga.
Banner Saga.
It's like, stop playing all my shit.
No, you stop playing all my shit.
No, it's
I don't
mine.
like it when people play with my shit.
It's all
You
mine.
guys stop
shit's supposed
playing. You guys stop playing that Donkey Kong like I am. I mean, shit.
Oh, poor Andrew in his little corner of Nintendo.
I just play whatever sounds fun to
On
me.
my
I don't
Wii
want
U.
to. I don't want to play any fucking new games and shit. Like I don't.
That's a new
Skyrim
game,
itself
isn't
is
it?
just what Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Not when I started playing it. Like, God.
It was like a month
that-
old when you started playing it, probably. It's still new.
Yeah, but I mean, I meant more of like, you know, whatever a lot of people are talking about. The game that is the most popular thing at the time. Like like I said, there's just nothing coming out or out right now that just I really want to play. All of it just looks like shit to me, and it was like, faggot.
Here's a little guide
Thank
to
you,
Andrew's
gang.
taste. Is if you see any game on a shelf somewhere, he hates it. Just assume. It's easier than trying to find the ones that are the exceptions.
Honestly, it's pretty easy just to assume I hate everything, and if you see me playing it and laughing, that means I like it. Unless it's terrible, and I'm laughing because
It's basically
terrible.
Donkey Kong and like Battle Block Theater.
Donkey Kong Battle Block Theater was a good one. I also like Mario, Super Mario World 3D.
You love Ipanob.
No, I don't.
You love Ipanob
I
so
have-
much that our most recent episode's titled "Screaming Till We Puke."
I've never been that sick from yelling in my life. I've never been that sick. That was awful.
All right, I got to head this
We're
off.
ending this.
We are doing a bad job at ending this. All right,
Yes.
We're going
see you
back
guys.
on
See you guys
topic.
next
No.
week. Maybe
Bye-bye.
we'll try. I hope,
Or
but
whatever.
we're bad at that.
Yeah, don't say
Eventually?
next week.
Secret. This is actually the last episode forever.
Please don't.
Never say never.